Hi friends, welcome back to my channel, 𝐬𝐭𝐚𝐲 ASMR. Can you believe it is already October? I can't. The time is moving too fast. Before we know it's gonna be 2020, and I just can't. So for the month of October, I will be uploading only Halloween-themed videos. Halloween is my favorite holiday. Everyone knows this. I'm obsessed with ghouls and goblins, and witches and vampires. All of it. So I'm going to be turning this channel into a spooktacular celebration. And at the end of the month, we will be having a special live show that I will be giving you information about later on this month, but it's gonna be pretty long. It's gonna be a long live show, and it's probably going to be in ASMR form. I haven't decided yet. Possibly. I don't know, who knows. So. But for the first video on my booktube side of this channel, I thought it would be really fun to suggest to you some of the hidden gems of the horror genre. So I am no expert when it comes to horror. I like to think that I am, but I'm not. I've watched countless horror films, read countless horror novels, and I just want to share with you some of the ones that I've found along the way that people don't talk about as much or maybe don't really know about. So without further ado, let's get on into it. So we're going to start these suggestions with books. The first book I have to suggest to you is Norman Partridge's Dark Harvest. Dark Harvest is about a town that takes Halloween to the extreme. Every year, all children are thrown into the streets, their parents are locked in their houses, and they have to fight this kind of scarecrow creature to the death. And the winner will get a prize. This is one of these books that I didn't expect to like, but I was glued to it till the very end. And I've definitely reread it multiple times. It is one that you need to pick up if you're in the mood for that Stranger Things type of vibe. It's also focused on children, but it's not a children's book. Don't mistake that. The next book I have to suggest to you is #MurderTrending by Gretchen McNeil. #MurderTrending is about a girl who is accused of murder wrongly of her sister, and she is thrown onto Alcatraz 2.0. Alcatraz 2.0 is an island where all criminals who have committed murder or heinous crimes of such degree are put into the island and they wait their execution. So in this futuristic dystopian type style world, I guess is what you would call it, there is no execution style of electric chairs and lethal injection. It is all taking place on Alcatraz 2.0, the island of the original Alcatraz prison. There are a group of executors who have different names and different backstories. It's really neat, actually. And they have to hunt the ones that are put up for execution. Along the way of this book, they are also broadcasting the entire events of Alcatraz 2.0 on an app for the world to see and to vote and to give money. It's like a sporting event, basically, but like year-round, I guess. This is one of those books that it doesn't seem like a horror novel, but it definitely is. It's very gruesome, very sad, and you connect with the characters really well. Gretchen McNeil is such a great writer when it comes to making you empathize with characters. A lot of times I feel like we watch horror films and we're rooting for the dumb characters to die off. Like, just stab them already, please. This is not one of those novels. I cried at so many deaths in this book, but it was totally worth it. There is a sequel. I have yet to read it, but if once I do, I would tell you how I feel about it. So the next book I had to suggest to you is not as gruesome or bloody. That book is Forever by Cindy Miles. Forever is about a young girl named Ivy whose mom takes her to Scotland when she remarries her second husband, and there Ivy discovers that the castle they are living in is not all that it seems. This young man may be dead. Okay, like he's definitely dead. I mean, come on, he's a ghost. The back of it says he's a ghost. I'm not gonna lie to you. So this book is all about Ivy having to figure out whether she can trust this ghost, Logan, and whether or not she can stop herself from falling in love with him. There is also the twist of a mystery. Was Logan murdered? Did Logan kill himself? Is there, like, something bad happening in the castle? Is that something coming after Ivy? It's a great story. It is a scholastic, so it does read kind of middle grade style, but don't let that stop you from reading the book. It's still great. It's very ghostly, spooky, and it has the Scottish setting, and it's beautiful, and oh my god, I love it. So the next book I have to suggest to you, I kind of hesitated about putting on this list. It's definitely hidden. Not a lot of people know about it. However, I didn't very much enjoy the writing of it, but I'll tell you why I'm going to suggest it. The book is You Will Be Mine by Natasha Preston. So this book is about a girl and her friends in college who are getting ready to go to a party on Valentine's Day when all of a sudden they get a knock on the door and there's a box left at the doorstep, this box right here, with a poem inside. The poem reads, "Roses are red, violets are blue, watch your back, I'm coming for you." They laugh it off. They seem like it's a joke, you know? Then one of their friends goes missing and they get another note that says, "Your turn." The concept is really great. This is one of those books that is slasher. It is very reminiscent of 80s horror slashers, Halloween, Jason, you know, teenagers dying off one by one, someone having to survive the final girl, that type of stuff. However, the writing is terrible. That's about as I can say. It's not good. The plot is good. So the reason I'm suggesting it is if you're looking for a book that's slasher, I have a hard time finding books that are reminiscent of the 80s slasher genre. And this is the type of book. Is the writing bad? Yes. Are most 80s horror films like this bad? Yeah. So you're kind of getting that writing style. I feel that maybe if she would have had an editor, it would have been better. I know this used to be self-published. She wrote The Cellar, I think, which was a Wattpad story first. That's a bad sign. So, if you're looking for something that'll be slash and cut and blood, get it. But looking for her driven plot, probably not, but it's still a hidden gem on Halloween. So the next book I have to suggest to you is another one of those ghostly, spooky stories, and it is Rebel Spirit by Lois Ruby. This is basically the same plot of Forever. This is about a young girl named Lori who moves with her parents to Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, where they open up a hotel to house guests who are coming for the summer to view the Gettysburg Memorial and battle reenactments and things like that. There's a ghost. This young man here. Nathaniel Pierce is a soldier. At first, Lori thinks, oh, he's a reenactor. Yeah, that ain't the case, and he was murdered.
Hi, editing Clara here. When I saw this clip, I realized I had an experience very similar to this. We have a Civil War battleground where I live. It's like 30 minutes away from me. And I had an experience like this where I thought I was looking at a reenactor, and one of the reenacting people who ran the camp was like, no one was working at the time. And they were like, it may have been someone who actually fought in the war because they believe in ghosts or whatever. And so I was like, freak the freak out. If you guys want me to do a video on that, I can, like a story time. And if like you'd like me to go there and explore it for like ASMR purposes, let me know. I took my sleeping medicine, so I feel high right now.
So now Lori has to help Nathaniel find his killer, all before getting killed herself. It's another one of those just ghostly mysteries, and I really love it. I highly suggest it to anyone who loves these types of books. Again, it's a scholastic, so it might read a little childish, but not really. There's love in it, so there's a romance with a ghost. Actually, now that I think about that, isn't that like, oh my god, if she was like to have a child with him, then the Antichrist.
A child born of human and spirit will usher in the end of times.
If you've seen Murder House, you know. So, pick it up. If you liked Forever, pick this one up. Honestly, between the two, this one's probably my favorite, but I suggest them both. So the last book I have to suggest to you is Where She Fell by Caitlin Ward. This is a book that is exactly like the movie The Descent. So this is about a girl with her friends who go cave exploring, I suppose you'd call it, and one of the girls falls through and she don't come out. So she ends up finding this civilization of all the people that have fallen through before that have kind of used the surroundings and the materials found in the caves to survive underground. And they've had this sort of, I guess you call it a Stockholm Syndrome type of thing, where they don't want to leave the cave. It's home to them. And so she has to gather a group of people and they have to escape. And there's these creatures that are eating their flesh. It's very gruesome. And it's just The Descent. But there's male characters, so I think The Descent is an all-female cast. So that's, I mean, it's great. It's wonderful. Oh, it was so good. So now my suggestions for film. So the first one I have to suggest to you is Better Watch Out. This is the 2016 version. I think there's a version from the 70s or 80s. I think. So this is about a girl who is hired to babysit a kid, and there's an intrusion, home invasion. We all know it. However, there's a twist, and I can't tell you that twist because it'll ruin the movie. Yeah, so it's a home invasion at Christmas. It's great. I first watched this during a 24-hour readathon, actually, and I should have been reading, but I was watching this. I got sucked in, and it was so good. And my brother didn't like it. He's just had this feeling of, oh, it's just stupid. But it has, the twist I feel is very original. I've not seen it before in horror films, and so I really liked it. Definitely suggest you watch it. Great movie. The next movie I have to suggest to you is May, which came out in 2002. This movie revolves around a woman who collects dolls, and when her favorite doll is unfortunately broken, she sets out to build a new friend. And she's going to use the body parts of people around her. Yeah, it's gruesome. So she wants to create the perfect friend. And so she wants to take these parts from all the different people in the world and her community and things that she deems perfect. Oh, you have perfect eyes, they're mine. You have perfect legs, they're mine. Perfect fingers, they're mine. So it's a very disturbing movie. The actress who plays May is spot on. So this is one of those movies that's very nostalgic of early 2000s horror. It's jump scares and the glitchy like computer fades and things like that. You have the trailer was like one of those.
Me again. I didn't actually mean a commercial. I meant a piracy commercial. So warning for any of you who get scared of those like I did as a kid. Here it is without the music because of piracy. Because apparently the people who made this commercial got in trouble for using the song without permission. The irony.
So then I would suggest probably one of my favorite horror films of all time, Brain Scan. This movie came out in 1994, and it revolves around a boy who's getting pretty tired of the video games he plays. So he finds this new game called Brain Scan, and he puts it into his computer, starts to play it, and out comes this guy creature thing. I don't even know. I've watched it so many times I still can't figure it out. Maybe it's because it's just like basically a trip. So this guy is telling the boy that he has to play the game, he has to commit the murders, and he has to do what he's told to win, or other people are gonna die. It's a great story. It's trippy, like I said. It's psychologically just freaking you out, man. It's a great movie, though. I really liked the premise of it. For a 90s movie, it was really modern with the way it used computer technology. And I think it was a big middle finger to, the parents of the 90s who were saying that, video games and things like that were rotting children's brains. They may have been changing their brains. So, but it's a good movie nonetheless. I would definitely suggest you watch it. I think the first time I watched this was free on the television, where they had the on demand, but they had the free section when I was really little. It's such a great film though, and the acting is superb for like a indie 90s movie. So then I would suggest The Dentist from 1996. This movie is the reason I was afraid to go to the dentist for 6 years. Every time I went, I would scream and throw things. It was really bad. The Dentist is about a dentist, you guessed it, who is experiencing some troubles in his life. His wife is cheating on him. you know, people don't really like him that much. He's in trouble with money and things, so he decides to take it out on his patients with murder. What do you know? It's gruesome, very bloody, very gory. It's not for the squeamish, but it's one of those films that it'll keep you scared of something. I feel like films that feed on the fear of actual things, dentists, doctors, Santa Claus for children, Easter Bunny, they're terrifying. So more than babysitter killers and camp counselor slayings and things like that. It's stuck with me from the first time I watched it, and it still sticks with me. When I hear the drill at the dentist, I still remember the scenes from the movie, and it's just, oh my god. So, if you want to be scarred for life, pick it up. So then I would suggest Pulse from 1988. This is not the 2006 one. The 2006 one is a totally different story. Pulse, 1988. The 1988 film is about a young boy who his father and stepmother bring him to move into a new house, and he discovers that electricity may be doing some menacing things in the home. People don't believe him, of course. Who would believe a little boy about electricity killing people, right? It's gonna happen, y'all gonna die. It's a slow burn of a film. It can get a little slow at times. It can feel like it's dragging, but it's so worth it. The outcome of it. There are some scenes that made me hold my breath. I mean, I was scared for the characters because I didn't know what was going to happen when I first saw this. My brother actually bought this years ago, and he meant to buy the 2006 version. It's a different film entirely, but he ended up buying this instead, and we watched it, and he was like, this isn't the movie. It's like, wait, but it's good. And so it stuck with me, and it's one of my favorite horror films of all time. Not a lot of people know it. When people hear Pulse, they think the 2006 murder coming back for revenge thing. This is not it. This is electricity out for its revenge. The last film I have to show you is actually the only one I own on this list for some reason, and it is The Covenant. The Covenant came out in 2006, and I'm not going to tell you much about it because I'll end up spoiling it. Everyone knows this is one of my favorite films. I have a poster of this. I mean, the theater poster. I think it's in a background of one of my videos a few years ago. I think. This is a vampire film. It's a group of vampire boys in high school who have to fight this leader guy. I can't tell you anymore. I'll spoil everything. Just trust me. It's great. If you liked My Babysitter's a Vampire, if you liked The Vampire Diaries, the originals, pick it up. It's so great. You can't go wrong. You know, I just realized I've been holding this DVD upside down the whole time. My bad. Still pick it up. That's the cover. So that is all the suggestions I have for you for hidden gems in the horror genre. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, let me know in the comments, and let me know what's your favorite movie or book that a lot of people don't know about. I'm always looking for new hidden gems to look at. Remember to always look at my social media links down below, my blog down there. I'm going to always promote that. I'm sorry, I have to. And until next time, remember you're beautiful, you're wonderful, and you're loved. Bye!